Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Frederick Douglass, and this is my review of The Monkey King. I think Donnie Yen did a very commendable job as the Monkey King. I think he was dubbed, at least in the Cantonese version that I saw, but he deserves a lot of credit for capturing the physicality of the role and for being able to still convey emotions effectively while having his face mostly covered up in prosthetics and makeup. He did a lot of acting with his eyes, and it worked. I'm sure it wasn't easy making this movie, and I respect him for it. In fact, most of the cast does a good job with their roles. Chow Yun-fat plays the Jade Emperor, a leader who is so laid back, you'd almost think he was the king of Chronic. Now, he always seems to make the right decisions, and he never uses his really invincible power until the end of the fight, as opposed to right away, which would drastically curtail them or in some cases prevent them from happening. It's a script issue. Aaron Kwok plays the Bull Demon King, whose long-running rivalry with the deities in heaven has shaped his life and his personality, and certainly his surroundings, because when he says he's in hell, he really is. It's made him kind of hard to live with, and that's especially difficult for his wife, Princess Iron Fan, played by Jo with an E, Chen. She's pregnant, and she can't really seem to wholeheartedly give herself over to Aaron's insistence on destroying heaven for the demons. She thinks he should stay at home in hell and help out more with the pregnancy.
夏梓童
plays the nine-tailed vixen, who is also the Monkey King's love interest in the film. Now, in the movie, she's 120, and the Monkey King is, I think, around 250. And in real life, I think the age difference is actually even bigger. But I have to say that I felt she managed to be engaging, whereas a lot of the other characters just seemed kind of flat. Now, it's much easier to see why the Monkey King would fall for her than the other way around. Even with those ears. Peter Ho plays Erlang Shen, who's made a guard in heaven because he has a third eye in his forehead. I guess if he was born with a third testicle, he'd have gotten a much more interesting job. There were a lot of cameos in The Monkey King, including Kelly Chen as the Goddess of Mercy, Eddie Chung, and Gigi Leung as the Goddess of the Moon. Now, don't get me wrong, it was nice to see them, but unfortunately for them, they just kind of get swallowed up in the vast hugeness of this movie. This movie wasn't meant to be a great story or a gripping narrative. It's an excuse for a bunch of set pieces featuring lots of CGI and fighting. Now, the 3D actually looked pretty good. Half of the time, creatures were CGI, but the other half, they were just people in good but still very obvious suits. One of the worst of them is a real-life knockoff of Po from Kung Fu Panda, and it looks like the mascot for the Chengdu University basketball team. Even that was better than the homages to Avatar and King Kong and Titanic. The Monkey King really ends up just being an excuse for CGI and 3D and excess. And the characters and their motivations and their emotions get swallowed up in this deluge. Narratively, it kind of comes off like a children's movie or a bunch of cutscenes from a video game. At one point, a minor character activates some kind of, flaming propulsion device under his feet. And another character says something literally like, "Wow, those are very interesting. What are those called?" The guy answers him. It's an incredibly pointless exchange about a completely superfluous detail. If it is somehow important, they left the pertinent details of the importantness out. Because of things like that and a 2-hour running time, The Monkey King ends up being an exercise in endurance. I felt there were opportunities to make the characters and the story much more well-rounded and interesting and engaging. But I get the impression that that's not really what they were trying to do with this film anyway. There are actually things about this movie that I liked. The story just wasn't one of them. I just really can't recommend the movie. Sadly, it ends up taking 4th place out of the 4 movies I watched for Chinese New Year 2014. But I'm sure that if I had watched Public Security Bureau 2013, that The Monkey King would have stayed at 4th. So it's got that going for it. But if you want to watch the movie, that's your business. Go to a cinema and watch it. Wait till it's available for rental. Or wait until it's available to buy on a disc. Don't download movies. Downloading stinks. Later on, when this film becomes available to purchase on DVD or Blu-ray, I'll update the description down there next to... That way, you can buy this movie and not steal it. That's what I need you to do. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you want to find out more about the Silver Spleen, please follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I put up extra content that doesn't always make it into reviews. I put up inane ramblings. I don't put up pictures of my food. And if you enjoy these reviews in general, please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get all the updates as soon as they happen. Thank you, and Gong Hei Fa Choi!